Good evening, Jamestown. I'm Warren Abrahamson, filling in for Jesse Boyle for your Monday, January 24th, 2011 JCTV News Update. According to the Associated Press, a fire destroyed the Motor Hotel in Bismarck early this morning. Authorities say the fire started around 4 a.m. this morning. Bismarck firefighters were able to get the fire under control at around 7:30 this morning. Although one firefighter reportedly received minor burns, none of the 55 building occupants sustained any injuries. Today, an Illinois appeals court panel ruled 2-1 that former White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel does not qualify for Chicago's mayoral elections. Emanuel says that he has always maintained a home in Chicago, but his opponents say he does not meet the residency requirements because he has not lived in the city for an entire year before the mayoral elections, which will occur on February 22nd. The ruling is a significant and unexpected setback for Mr. Emanuel, who trounces his opponents in poll numbers and campaign dollars. However, the decision is expected to be appealed to the Illinois State Supreme Court. This afternoon in Moscow, an explosion in a terminal of Moscow's busiest airport killed at least 30 people and left another 130 injured. According to the Associated Press, Russia's President Dmitry Medvedev says the blast looks like a terror attack, while a Russian news agency says the blast may have been set off by a suicide bomber. President Barack Obama says the explosion is, quote, an outrageous act of terrorism against the Russian people, end quote. Today, wind gusts surpassing 35 miles per hour made travel quite difficult across much of our state. In Ward County, a road was closed after 20 vehicles became stuck. Unfortunately, tomorrow's weather doesn't look much more promising. Taking a look at our extended 5-day forecast, we see that tomorrow there's a 20% chance of snow, with highs in the low 20s and winds around 15 miles per hour. Wednesday should be partly sunny with a high near 20 degrees. Thursday will warm up a bit with highs in the low 30s, but Friday will be a bit nastier with blowing winds and blowing snow and a 30% chance of precipitation. Friday's high will be in the upper 20s. Saturday will cool down significantly with highs only in the single digits. Last week was a busy one for Jimmy sports. On Friday, the Jimmy men's and women's basketball teams played Dakota State University at the Civic Center. Casey Jeffrey had 20 points for the Jimmy women as they handily disposed of Dakota State 84-53. After the women's game, it was the men's turn, and behind a 23-point effort from C.J. Peters and a double-double from Travis Burley, the Jimmy men defeated Dakota State University by 1 point, 75-74. On Saturday, the Jimmy basketball teams played Mayville State University, also at the Civic Center. In the night's first matchup, the Jimmy women handily won 110-73. Bridget Chinnaman led the Jimmies in scoring with 18 points, while Hannah Steele had 14 points. In the men's game, Shavante Samuels poured in 32 points for Mayville, but it just wasn't enough to beat the Jimmies. Travis Burley had 17 points, while C.J. Peters had 15. Final score of Saturday night's game, Jimmies 89, Mayville 74. Track and field was also busy on Friday as they competed in the Northern State Triangular in Aberdeen, South Dakota. William Swanson finished first in the 400-meter dash for the men, while Nick Maloney finished first in weight throw. For the women, Katie Conlon took first in the 800-meter run and the mile, while Marissa Curry took first in triple jump. Also, Annalisa Fouth took first in the 200 and 400-meter dashes, and Sarah Skipper took first in the 55-meter hurdles. On Friday, the Jimmy men's wrestling team had a duel with Dickinson State University here in Jamestown, originally scheduled to be held back on November 23rd but postponed due to weather. Both teams entered the contest ranked in the NAIA's top 20. The matchup lived up to its billing with 8 of the 9 contested bouts ending in 3-point decisions. However, Dickinson State proved too much for the Jimmies and won the duel 21-15. On Saturday, the Jimmies hosted the Jimmy Open. Notably for the Jimmies, Anthony Clay finished in second place at 174 pounds, and B.J. Mosley finished in third place at 197 pounds. Yesterday was a big day for National Football League fans as division champs were crowned. After a long, hard, and cold game, the Green Bay Packers were able to stave off the Chicago Bears to win 21-14 and capture the National Football Conference title. The New York Jets had been rolling in the playoffs but were not able to pull out the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who won the American Football Conference by a final score of 24-19. The Steelers and the Packers will compete in Super Bowl 45 on February 6th. Thank you for joining me tonight, Jamestown. I hope you will tune in tomorrow when we once again connect the campus with the community. Good night.